Cześć moi drodzy, witajcie bardzo serdecznie. Kim są bracia bliźniacy Kamery, te zielone? Dzisiaj się tym zajmiemy. Mamy Mobiego, więc jestem ciekaw, co się wydarzy.
When the third part of episode 70 was finally released, it gave me just a ton of material that I'd really like to talk about.
No to prawda, mamy bardzo dużo rzeczy, które się pojawiły w odcinku 70, które oddziałują na fabułę. No i dzięki temu będziemy, myślę, w stanie sprawdzić i jakby robić więcej teorii na ten temat, nie?
I've already made a video on the secret agent's origin and purpose in the series, so this time I decided to choose another topic. So today I'm going to talk about the mysterious green-suited cameraman who I thought
zielone kamery. Ciekawe, kim są?
To be ghosts at first. These two buddies really turned out to be full of surprises, and I have a lot of theories on them, which I'll happily share with you in this video. Now get your tea and snacks ready, and prepare to watch this video to the end, because it's going to be really interesting.
Oczywiście moją reakcję również oglądajcie od początku do końca z moim komentarzem.
And let's go. Although the actual plot-related appearance of at least one of the green-suited cameramen happened in the later episodes of the series, we could see the same models of cameramen in the earliest episodes as well. For example, let's take this shot from episode 8. We can notice one green-suited cameraman walking in the center of the crowd. We could also see him once again in episode 31 from the left side of this big camera.
Czyli jak widzicie, kamery się pojawiły już wcześniej, te ciekawe, nie? Te zielone.
Man with his legs buried into two toilets. It's pretty interesting how in all of those cases, this green-suited cameraman appeared in places where some crazy battles were about to begin, but we never saw him getting destroyed or critically damaged. Even in episode 31, where the crowd of the ordinary cameraman had been attacked by their infected former comrades, and considering that the Alliance didn't have the anti-parasite weapon at the time...
Nawet w takich sytuacjach one nigdy nie zostały zniszczone. To jest ciekawe, nie? Myślę, że już wtedy agent nad nimi czuwał. Tak mi się wydaje.
I didn't see a clear opportunity to get out of this scenario alive. Besides, the green-suited cameraman stood right next to the big cameraman, then got brutally beheaded by the infected big cameraman in the blue shirt. So he must have been extra lucky or something like that. By the way, funnily enough, but in episode 46 we could see his green-suited soulmate that came from the Speakerman's race this time.
Okej, zielony garnitur, głośnik. Oj, to może być ciekawe, nie? Jak głośniki też będą...
And this guy doesn't do anything particular that could have distinguished him from the rest of the ordinary Speakermen, so I guess that Boom just wanted to play with colors a bit at that time. We could also see one of the green-suited cameraman appearing at the very beginning of episode 55.
Czy to jest zielony?
And also pay your attention to the fact that this cameraman finds himself in the very dangerous situation once again. I mean, the freaking acid skeleton Skibidi is in front of him. And somehow, our guy manages to be in the row of the very few survivors of this Skibidi attack and successfully escapes by running away.
Zawsze oni przetrwają, zawsze przeżywają. Tak jak mówię, myślę, że sekretny agent im pomagał już na samym początku.
I mean, at this point, I would
Zresztą
consider
ten sekretny agent się pojawił w tym
cameraman as
odcinku.
lucky as the white terracotta brother himself. Could it be the miraculous hand of help belonging to the secret agent? Or is he just that smart on his own? Both variants can be possible in this case, actually, because I have a certain theory on how the secret agent may choose his apprentices, but I'll tell you about it a little bit later. And for now, don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I make a lot of really interesting and detailed videos about the lore of this series, including the character of the secret agent as well. Well, let's get back to the green-suited cameraman, though. As he manages to survive in episode 55, it's pretty logical to see him well and thriving once again in the following episode, standing on the right side from this TV.
A gdzie jest jego brat? Bo tu jest tylko jeden, nie? Ciekawe, gdzie jest jego brat bliźniak.
And by the way, guys, do you remember this particular car he also stands right in front of? Yeah, that's right. It's this very car where the secret agent sits in, and we could see him just a few seconds later, although in the frame with the green-suited cameraman, he's gone already. And besides that, Lucky Cameraman, aka the White Terracotta Bro, also appears in the same episode. We could notice him running with his butt cheeks caught on fire, closer to the end of episode 56. And by the way, in this episode, the green-suited cameraman continues the tradition of getting dragged into really messy situations. I mean, how did he manage to escape this route that had been occupied by the infected Titan speakermen from all sides? This guy never fails to amaze me.
Może wtedy już używał mocy niewidzialności albo teleportacji, nie? I dzięki temu był w stanie przetrwać te wszystkie takie krytyczne sytuacje.
My friends, but unfortunately his luck didn't seem to be endless after all, because in episode 61 we see him once again walking confidently with the rifle in his hands. But you just look at that. Skibidi Penguin Zero appears on the screen, stuns all the cameramen in front of him, including the green-suited one, and knocks him to the ground with one precise shot. But here comes the tricky part. Pay your attention to the way his body lies on the ground.
No trzyma broń, tak jakby udawał, że zginął, nie?
Head camera doesn't seem to be detached from his body, and he looks more unconscious and motionless than lifeless. Plus, there's something more to it. In case you didn't notice or simply forgot, the POV of episode 61 is no other than Lucky Cameraman himself.
No właśnie, znowu się pojawiają razem ze sobą i znowu jest tu sekretny agent.
And as it usually happens when this guy can be found in the center of an action, there's also the secret agent looking straight into the POV's soul as well. And it's another time when we see the green-suited cameraman and the white terracotta bro not only in the same episode, but also in the same scene. So I have two theories on how the green-suited cameraman managed to survive in this episode. The first one is that he wasn't actually finished by Skibidi Penguin Zero, and the head camera that wasn't detached from his main body signals to us about that. Because it is actually possible to still bring the injured cameraman back to life with the help of the medics of the Alliance. And the only condition was that is the head camera being connected to the body or its wires not being cut off. We could see how in the second part of episode 69, the medic approaches the body of a fallen cameraman with his head being in the whole other dimension, and he doesn't even bother to stop and take a closer look at him, but simply walks by him.
No właśnie, nie naprawia go, bo głowa jest odłączona.
Which proves the idea that the task of repairing of a cameraman from the injuries that he got becomes impossible only in the case of his head camera being completely torn off.
Ciekawe
For
dlaczego
instance,
tak jest.
we could see the process of renovation at the very beginning of episode 62. So, it's pretty logical to assume that the green-suited cameraman could have been simply saved off screen by a bunch of the Alliance's medics. And here's another theory. What if the secret agent had already laid his eyes on him in this episode and decided to choose this guy in pair with Lucky Cameraman as one of his future accomplices? Maybe his luck and dexterity played a major role in this choice. I don't really know here.
Myślę, że on już wcześniej współpracował z agentem, już wcześniej niż w tym odcinku.
Although I'm not entirely sure of that, as it's pretty difficult to see it in details, but I think we could catch a glimpse at the green-suited cameraman once more in the beginning of episode 66, crouching near that gray fallen toilet. And finally, we're catching up to the current events, namely, the fourth part of episode 67, where all the members of the infiltration squad reach the Skibidi bunker, including now two green-suited cameramen, one of whom still clenches his favorite rifle
No
in
to
his
są
hands.
oni, jeszcze dali Plungerowi, pewnie sekretny agent dał im to, a oni mieli dać ten przedmiot Plungerowi, tę broń.
While the other one carries the plunger on his back. And as we've already seen before, he hands it over to its owner once Plungerman slips into the bunker too. And in one of my previous videos, I voiced a theory that maybe Plungerman indeed wasn't supposed to get inside, and one of the green-suited cameramen was intended to take his place in terms of battle power, as he had already become the secret agent's accomplice at this point.
Nie, raczej sekretny agent chciał, żeby ninja się dostał do środka.
As well as Lucky Cameraman. I don't think that his similarly looking bro was a secret agent's accomplice at that time though, but why I don't think so. I'm going to explain a little bit later, so brace with me. By the way, did you notice how in the secret scene that was added by Boom in all the episodes of Season 22 compilation,
No oni tak dziwnie stoją, nie?
everyone but Plungerman, Black Speakerman, and two green-suited brothers followed Lucky Cameraman's orders? That could indicate that those four guys aside from the POV are really special, and each of them was given a certain purpose in the upcoming events. Now, having the information from episode 70, that scene in the second part of episode 68, where the green-suited cameraman reaches out his hand to take the remote controller from Lucky Cameraman's hands, doesn't seem to be so out of place at all. What if this one cameraman was already the secret agent's accomplice by the moment, and he decided to show Lucky Cameraman that he's of the same kind as him? but the white terracotta bro just looks at him surprisingly and then averts his eyes. Maybe he got annoyed by the possibility.
No to było dziwne to powitanie tutaj. No ale cóż, no. Wszystko, wiecie, takie małe rzeczy i czasami nie potrafiliśmy tego dostrzec, że coś jest nie tak z tymi kamerami
That
zielonymi.
this stupid green dude was about to give their secret away. And take a look at that scene where we can see Lucky Cameraman and the same green-suited cameraman standing side by side. This is definitely not a coincidence anymore. And of course, the secret agent
Może ten zielony kamera zakłócał obraz, żeby tego nie
himself is
widzieli.
literally meters away from them.
Tylko czemu to jest tak ważne, żeby tego ci nie widzieli? Sojusz. Że tu są jakieś komputery czy coś? Nie wiem, że oni korzystają z komputerów, te Skibidi.
Which is being hinted by the two bursts of his trademark green glow. From that moment, one interesting change in both green-suited cameramen's behavior can be noticed. They stopped taking any participants in fights, and they could be usually found standing somewhere in the corner, back to back, with their hands kept in front, and this gesture personally associates with some sort of tutors or mentors to me. I suppose that shortly before the moment the squad entered the elevator, that one green-suited cameraman that was healed by the secret agent and led into the number of his special accomplices shared his of all in all the previous episodes losses of his comrades. It all was a trick in the end, and we could see two of green-suited cameramen alive and well. Apparently this whole ghost thing was just some kind of invisibility caused by another device that was
No właśnie, mieli dużo takich urządzeń jak teleportacja, niewidzialność i wszystko im zapewnił sekretny agent. Także nieźle, kurka. Powiem wam szczerze, że jeszcze pewnie będziemy coś odnajdziemy na temat właśnie tych bliźniaków.